For the leeks, you need to pre-mix these three colours: white and translucent at 50-50, leaf green, and the other one, which is a spring green. These will need to be in squares to start off with, and then cut into triangles. You can use all of the spring green and half of each of the other two colours to start off with. The reason for these triangles will become clear later. Put simply, one end of this strip is all leaf green. In the middle it's all spring green, and this gradually reduces until at the other end it's all white. You'll see what I mean later. It's mathematics really, but for those of you who, like me, don't like maths, just watch what happens, and let's just call it magic instead. Firstly, you need to put the sheet through the pasta machine with the dark green at one side and the white at the other. Fold this in half, or you can fold it twice if you want. Pass it through the pasta machine and again a few times. Keep folding and always pass it through the machine the same way. It looks a bit messy at first, but believe me, the magic will start to happen soon. If it gets a bit too wide, you can always push it in like this to compact it. Can you see those lines coming? The lines will disappear after a while, and it will just be a nice, gentle shade through from one colour to another. I'll just remove that dark green from there. If there's a curve there, don't worry about it because it's matched with the other curve. That line should disappear. Just make sure that these lines do line up though. There, you really can see the colour gradient appearing. I'm folding it up really tightly now so that I can compress it. Really control the clay. Now I'm rolling out the extra clay, which was left over at the beginning, so that I can add it to the top and bottom of this strip. Because we need a nice long section of green and of white. So the white goes on the bottom. And again, I'm folding it. Again, it needs controlling by pushing it together. Otherwise it's too wide to go through the machine. I'll just tidy up the top and bottom. This time I want it really thin because I'm going for the final run. Just taking the bubbles of air out. As you can see, I'm not only pushing it together, but I'm also lengthening it in the other direction. Really pushing it together well. Pulling it to lengthen it in the other direction. This does take practice. And really, if you've never worked with clay before, it might be a bit beyond you. Pulling it nice and thin so that when I feed it through the pasta machine, it passes through easily. Getting it ready to go through. I only want it a few centimetres wide. And I'm taking the ends off. There, it's ready. Now I'm going to make a very, very long, thin strip. So be careful that this doesn't get tangled up under the machine. Feed it out carefully. There we go. Now here's the real magic, which I discovered by accident. You need to stack these strips, just misaligning them slightly. The more dramatic you want your lines in the leeks, the further you misalign these strips. But try and do it evenly all the way along. So as you can see, the bottom one is left longer than the top one. And then stack these on top, one on top of the other. So I've cut it in half and stacked it once, and I'm doing it again. And you can see these lines starting to form. Cut it and stack it again. That one just seems a bit wrong, so I've just restuck it. Press it really hard and start to lengthen it again. Again, you're using your fingers as really powerful tools. I'm pulling this block out to make it a lot longer. And if I chop it once more and put it together again, we should have really a very dramatic look. And once more. Don't want those lines to look too obvious. They need to be subtle. But that's beautiful, I think. But I probably want a little bit more white on the bottom and a bit more green on the top, probably. I'll put one piece aside. Add this little bit of white to the bottom. It's at this stage you can make the fine adjustments of how much of each colour you've got. As long as you've got that nice shaded and lined bit in the middle, that's the important thing. And squeeze it together. Your hands get very, very strong doing this all day. And I'm pulling it again. Notice I don't roll things or squeeze them or use rolling pins on them more than I have to. I use my fingers as often as I can. There. That's the effect I was looking for. To make the centre of the leek, cut a fairly thick slice from this stack and divide the slice into 4 or 5 strips. Take one of these strips and roll it between your fingers to get rid of the sharp edges. Turning it into a cylinder. Cut the ends several times to form the inner leaves. Take off any excess. Then you need to cut thin slices from the main block. This will take practice, just like the cabbages, and sometimes it just doesn't work. But watch how I cut, move it away, cut, move it away, until I've got several slices. Then these slices are applied to the outside of the cylinder. You may only need 2 or 3 of these. And as you go along, try and fold the top. The less you use your hands, the better for this. Just wrap it round as carefully as you can, quickly, and then just fold. And that gives you that leek effect. I'll just try putting an extra one on this one, although it doesn't need it. Wrap it round, fold. It's up to you how many you put on. Whether you want it a long thin one or a short fat one. This one's a short fat prize winner. You can put texture on the bottom of the leek with a little sandpaper, and if you wish you can colour it to make it look dirtier, as if the roots have just been cut off.